Welcome to part 2 of Neuroscience Study Guide covering Intro to Neuroscience, Regional Anatomy, Neurons, and Glial Cells and Synapses. Let's get this party started. How many neurons in the brain? The answer is 86 billion. Describe the acronym Be Fast. The answer is balance. Sudden loss of balance.
Eyes.
Blurred or sudden loss of vision in one or both eyes.
Face.
One side of face droops or looks uneven.
Arms.
One hangs down or can't raise them both.
Speech.
Slurred speech, trouble speaking, or confusion.
Time.
Time to call 911. How are synapses maintained and stabilized? The answer is through exposure, repetition, and practice, enhanced with physical exercise. Describe the many functions of CSF. The answer is forms liquid cushion in subarachnoid space, bathes outer surfaces of brain and spinal cord, fills brain ventricles, provides buoyancy and reduces weight of brain, transports ions, nutrients, and hormones to neurons. Where is CSF produced? The answer is choroid plexus, a cluster of capillaries surrounded by ependymal cells that hangs from the roof of each ventricle. How does the neurotoxin tetanus affect motor neurons and the muscular system? The answer is blocks the release of GABA and glycin during retrograde transport, causes overexcitation of motor neurons leading to muscle spasms and spastic paralysis. What is the function for the neurotransmitter norepinephrine? The answer is general arousal and alertness. What arteries merge to form the basilar artery? The answer is vertebral arteries. What neurotransmitter deficiency is associated with Huntington's disease? The answer is GABA. What is the relationship between axon diameter and conduction speed? The answer is, the larger the diameter, the less resistance equaling faster impulse conduction. What is the Wernicke's area? The answer is Language Interpretation Center. What type of CVA is the most common?
Describe the type.
The answer is ischemic stroke, when an artery is blocked, restricting the blood supply to the brain, causing tissue death. What is a TIA? The answer is mini-stroke, temporary disruption of blood flow to the brain, spinal cord, or retina. What neurotransmitter deficiencies are associated with depression? The answer is norepinephrine and serotonin. The dural venous sinuses drain blood into what veins in the neck? The answer is interior jugular veins. Name the termination point of the spinal cord. The answer is conus medullaris. What is the cauda equina? The answer is collection of nerve fibers from the lumbar and sacral portions of the spinal cord that spread out from the conus medullaris, horse's tail. How many spinal nerves are there? The answer is 31 pairs, or 62 total. Differentiate between vertebral foramina and intervertebral foramina. The answer is vertebral foramina, hole in vertebrae where the spinal cord is found. Intervertebral foramina allows for the passage of spinal nerves from the cord. What structure is known as the gateway to the brain?
Why?
The answer is thalamus. With the exception of smell, all sensory information is processed here before it reaches the cerebral cortex. Describe the structure and function of intervertebral discs. The answer is fibrocartilaginous packs separating the body of adjacent vertebrae. It allows for movement between the vertebrae and serves as shock absorbers. What is degenerative disc disease? The answer is a condition that results from the normal process of aging in which spinal discs dry out and shrink. What is a herniated disc? Explain precisely why it causes pain. The answer is when the nucleus pulpus protrudes and excessively puts pressure on spinal nerve roots. Describe the location of gray and white matter in the spinal cord. The answer is spinal cord cross-section reveals a central butterfly-shaped core of gray matter surrounded by white matter. Why is a spinal anesthetic riskier than an epidural? The answer is spiral anesthetic requires piercing the dura mater. Epidurals do not enter the dural sac. What region is the biosynthetic center of a neuron? The answer is soma/cell body. What are brain ventricles? The answer is continuous fluid-filled chambers contain CSF, certain choroid plexuses lined with ependymal cells that produce CSF. Name the input region of a neuron. The answer is dendrites. What is the lateral sulcus divide? The answer is temporal lobes from frontal and parietal lobes. What's the significance of axon terminals? The answer is bulbous ends roof an axon that contact other cells, form synapses, and may secrete neurotransmitters for communication. Differentiate anterograde and retrograde movement. The answer is anterograde toward axon terminal, retrograde away from axon terminal. Ventral roots contain blank neurons and dorsal roots contain blank neurons. The answer is ventral roots contain motor neurons and dorsal roots contain sensory neurons. What is the function for the neurotransmitter substance P? The answer is PAME. What transport system do some pathogens exploit to infect neurons? The answer is retrograde. Thanks for watching. Part 3 coming soon.